All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are diving deep into some really fascinating new data, and it paints a very clear picture about the future of the dive industry. Seriously, if you own a dive shop or you're an instructor thinking about your career, what we're about to cover could be a game changer for how you plan for the next few years.
So, I want to kick things off with a single question, and I want you to keep this in the back of your mind through this whole explainer. Are you a dive shop or are you a water sports business? Because as you're about to see, the data strongly suggests that the answer to that question could be the key to everything. Okay, first up, we need to talk about your customer, because there's been a fundamental shift in who's walking through your door. The diver of today is just different than the diver from 10, let alone 20 years ago. Now, on the surface, the news looks amazing, right? In 2023, scuba participation in the US shot past pre-pandemic levels. That's a huge win. But, and this is a big but, the real story isn't just that the number went up. It's about who is driving that growth. That's what really matters. So to really get this, we've got to split the market into two groups. You've got your casual divers. These are the folks doing 1 to 7 dives a year, mostly on vacation. And then you have your core divers, the real enthusiasts, the ones in the water 8 or more times a year. This distinction, it is absolutely critical to understanding what's happening.
So, what does this actually mean for your shop on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, it means you're probably seeing less demand for those big, full equipment packages. The money is shifting to travel-friendly gear, things like computers and nice sweatsuits. For resorts, it means diving is becoming just one of many activities on the menu, not the only reason people show up. The whole all-in hobbyist mindset is just less common now.
And that brings us to the other side of the coin, the more challenging part of this story. Because while the total number of divers is up, the very foundation of the traditional dives business model, well, it's facing some serious headwinds. Take a look at this. Over the last 5 years, that casual diver segment has been growing at a really healthy clip, 2.7% per year. This is the engine. This is where all that top-line growth we celebrated is coming from. It's a boom in occasional vacation-focused divers. But now look at this. Over that exact same period, the number of core divers, your most dedicated customers, the ones buying the high-end regulators, that group has actually been shrinking. Not by a lot, but consistently, year after year. And that is the crucial point here. Your traditional customer base is slowly getting smaller. And this is the new reality it's created. Casual divers now make up a whopping 78% of the entire market. Just let that sink in. Nearly 4 out of every 5 people interested in diving are occasional participants. A business model built around serving a small, dedicated group of hobbyists just doesn't fit the market anymore. And the hits kind of keep on coming for the old model. For so many shops, snorkeling has been the bread and butter, right? From selling masks and fins to running boat tours. But the data shows that this market is also, unfortunately, trending down. Yep, snorkeling's 5-year average growth is negative 0.8%. Now, look, the total number of snorkelers is still huge, don't get me wrong, but the trend is what matters. It's another clear signal that the traditional, reliable revenue streams are being challenged from all sides. Okay, so we've laid out the challenges. It might sound a bit like doom and gloom, I know. But here's the thing. Every single market shift like this creates massive new opportunities. This is where we pivot. We've seen the problem, now let's talk about the solution. So we have to ask the obvious question. If the die-hard scuba and snorkeling markets are facing these headwinds, where are people going? Where is the energy, the excitement, and most importantly, where is the growth on the water today? And the answer is right next door. It's in all the other ways people are playing in the ocean. This is the moment where we have to pivot our thinking from being a small dive industry to being part of the much bigger and frankly much faster growing water sports world. Get ready for this number. While our core market is shrinking, surfing has a 5-year average annual growth rate of 7.4%. That is not just growth, that's an explosion. It's a market that's absolutely buzzing with new people who already love the water and are probably right in your backyard. And it's not just surfing. Stand-up paddling has shown this incredibly resilient, steady growth year after year, right through the pandemic. It's accessible, it's super popular, and it's an activity that dive centers are perfectly set up to offer. Rentals, tours, you could even use them for fun surface intervals. So what this data really gives us is a concrete roadmap.
You start to diversify your inventory with some surf and soup gear. Suddenly, you have an answer for the non-diving spouts of the kids. You have a fun activity to fill a 3-hour surface interval. This is how you stop being just a dive shop and start becoming the local hub for everything fun on the water. Now, if this idea of reinvention sounds a little daunting, I want to show you a really powerful example from another industry that was in the exact same boat not too long ago. For years, golf had this reputation, right? A declining sport for an aging demographic. Sound familiar? But they didn't just accept it. They actively reinvented themselves. They changed their marketing. They made the sport more accessible. And the results, well, they've been staggering. The numbers really do speak for themselves. While the entire scuba industry saw 1.8% growth over 5 years, golf grew by an incredible 34% in that same period. 34%. This is the proof. A traditional industry can pivot, it can adapt, and it can find absolutely explosive new growth. Change isn't just possible, it's extremely profitable. So let's bring it all home. The main takeaway is crystal clear. People have not fallen out of love with the ocean. The challenge isn't a lack of interest. It's a massive shift in how people want to engage with the water. And our industry's job is simply to adapt and meet these customers where they are right now. And that brings us right back to that first question, but now with a totally new perspective. The data is clear, the opportunity is huge, and the path forward involves looking beyond just the regulator. So the final question really is for you. How will your business reinvent itself to ride this new wave?